Thank you for calling the Afterlife Hotline, your one-stop shop for all things spooky, weird, and possibly cursed. Press 1 for ghost stories that will ruin your sleep schedule.
Press 2 for paranormal mysteries we definitely won't solve.
Press 3 to speak to a demon. Just kidding, unless...
If you're still here, congrats. You've officially ignored all the red flags.
And now you're stuck with us. Hope you like bad jokes and spooky stuff.
This is the Afterlife Hotline. Boo!
Hi, hello.
Hello, guys.
I'm Denisha.
I'm Ashley.
And this is the Afterlife Hotline.
Yeah.
Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be talking about haunted roadways. Not necessarily just in America, but just in general.
Yeah.
Some haunted, spooky roadways and the things we could find about them.
Yeah.
Probably be a relatively short episode, but...
Yeah, be a good one. Be a nice one.
So I'm going to start with the Dead Man's Curve in Cleveland, Ohio. When it comes to Ohio, the state has had reported over 500 ghost sightings along their roadways. Dead Man's Curve, located in Cleveland, Ohio, is the third most haunted road in the United States, according to rankings from an international car company.
Oh, shit.
Dead Man's Curve is a nearly 90-degree turn on Interstate 90 near downtown Cleveland, just south of Burke Lakefront Airport.
How convenient. It's a 90-degree turn on Interstate 90.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Which legends hold is haunted by a faceless hitchhiker ghost. The sharp turn has also led to a number of semi-trucks rollovers in the years.
Ooh, yeah.
The plane dealer referred to Cleveland Innerbelt being called Dead Man's Curve as early as 1977, 15 years after the Innerbelt was completed. By then, the story says that the Innerbelt Curve has long been known as Dead Man's Curve because of the treacherous bend in the road and the numerous jackknifing trucks turning there.
Yeah.
This is despite the fact that by then the curve had already been rebuilt in 1969.
Oh, child.
You can clearly see I did not read that year first. To change the degree of its bank.
So, it was worse before the 90-degree turn? Oh, shit.
Signs, flashing lights, and rumble strips have been added over the time to alert drivers who ignore the 35 mile per hour speed limit.
Ooh.
35 miles per hour.
I feel like even that might be too fast going through there.
At 90 degrees? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Even the safety measures are sometimes ill-received, with one letter to editor writer to Cleveland.com asking, so whose idea was it to put a parking lot speed bumps on Interstate 90 at Dead Man's Curve?
The people who are trying to get you to not kill yourself going on a 90-degree curve. Turn.
Yeah. There are still 50 to 100 crashes a year on this road. And
we're going to have to look this up and see what it looks like because
I saw some photos.
It's like, is it like straight?
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm curious if there's any way that they could even fix it to where it's not a 90-degree curve. It's not even a curve at that point. It's just a straight ass turn. That was very poor planning on the construction.
And we'll pop in a picture.
Even though it doesn't look that sharp, but I'm assuming like in person, like
I was going to say, because that's also an aerial view.
Yeah. I can't imagine semi-trucks trying to even go around that.
Some things that people have reported that supposedly make it haunted, even though there's obviously been no like concrete evidence of this, is the faceless hitchhiker. He is described as a pitch black silhouette or a three-dimensional silhouette. There's also been a driverless Impala and a ghostly green Roadrunner.
A green bird?
I think they mean the Roadrunner truck. But all it said was ghostly green Roadrunner. But there is a truck.
They're leaving that up for interpretation.
Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting because I'm wondering, like, a lot of trucks have obviously flipped and stuff like that.
I feel so fucking stupid now. I just said, like the bird.
I mean, you didn't know.
I immediately go to, like, cartoons. Anytime I hear Roadrunner, I think of the bird.
But I almost wonder if some of these accidents have occurred. One, obviously, reckless driving is probably a huge factor to that.
Yeah.
But two, like, are they seeing the faceless phantom and freaking out?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, because they're coming up to that super sharp curve anyway, and then that thing, whatever they see could be distracting them, and then but that's also strange. That is not anywhere that I think that it would be. Like when I'm thinking haunted roadways, I'm thinking like really creepy looking areas, and that's just like off of an interstate
in the middle of nowhere, like dark and eerie, and that's
you said
just
that's
there.
where?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, well, if we ever go to Cleveland, Ohio, we are definitely avoiding that.
And there's another one too. This one I saw first, and I was like, is this what I'm thinking of? But it was not the right location. Tell me why they did that. I don't know where that is. It's not the one we're talking about. But, like, what was the reason?
And, like, the highway doesn't even go around it.
Yeah.
It's just... What? Oh,
Interesting. I don't get it.
Interesting. Huh.
I don't know.
Some construction people don't need to be in construction. Clearly.
Like...
It kind of reminds me of some of the back roads out here, honestly. Like some of these curves that you go around. You got to follow the signs, people. Go 35 miles per hour. Probably even less than that.
I was about to say, I can't imagine
15,
you and I
20
going
maybe?
through there.
Jeez.
I can just see you. You would look like this.
Yeah. And never in my Jeep because our asses would be rolling.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I noticed the other day that I have a high roll warning on my wind visor. And I have been whipping turns.
Which is crazy because your car is more like squat. But okay.
I don't know. Maybe they just put it on all of the cars. But, like, yeah, I definitely noticed it. And I was like...
So don't be taking them curves really, really fast, Anisha.
Well...
We don't need to be rolling.
I'll do better next time. Maybe. Maybe we're going to become ghostless, faceless phantoms.
Oh, shit. Please.
Ghostless?
Ghostless, faceless? Non-existent? Just not here?
Just not here.
Yeah. That'll be our afterlife say. Just not here.
Press 1 for bitch, go the fuck to sleep.
So this one is called Shades of Death Road in New Jersey. So Shades of Death Road is located in the U.S. state of New Jersey. It's known for its eerie name and has gained a reputation for being haunted or cursed. It is one of the top haunted roads in the world. That's interesting. Located smack in the middle of Warren County, the road is totally paved. It's a 2-lane rural... I hate this word. Rural road. Out in the middle of nowhere road. Of about 7 miles in length, weaving from farm country just off of I-80 along a portion of Jenny Jump State Forest, riding the edge of the unofficially but aptly named Ghost Lake. This one, okay, so this one was pretty interesting because even off of the road, there's multiple different, like, ghostly areas. Like, there's, like, a lake that's ghostly. There's many different things that are off of this main road.
So it's
that are also haunted as well.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Despite its unsettling name and reputation, Shades of Death Road is a real and functional roadway. It is part of the backcountry landscape of Warren County, and people travel on it regularly. If I'm saying backcountry out in the middle of nowhere, just know it's because I can't say that dang word. Rural. The origin of the name is uncertain, and several theories attempt to explain it. One theory suggests that it was named after a malaria-infested swamp along the road that caused illness and death. Another theory attributes the name to the murders that allegedly took place there in the 1920s, although historical records do not support these claims. The road passes through wooded areas and is said to be quite dark at night due to the thick tree cover. This, combined with its ominous name, has contributed to the road's reputation as spooky or haunted location. However, it's essential to note that many of the legends surrounding Shades of Death Road are considered folklore, and there is little factual basis for the paranormal claims. If that's true, how is it one of the top haunted roads in the world?
Honestly. Also, I'm just saying, I do love the name, Shades of Death Road.
Shades of Death Road, yeah.
I think that is absolutely gorgeous.
I like it a lot. The road is subject to folklore and numerous local legends. It's probably the scariest road in New Jersey. The winding 2-lane road of terror stretches alongside the spooky Jenny Jump State Forest. Legend has it that many years ago, a car of teenagers was driving down a country road in Hackettstown, New Jersey after prom. The road was slippery that night and curved sharply to the left and right, winding into the dark. The driver lost control and the car crashed into a ditch, killing one of the passengers. To this day, on dark and slippery nights, you can still see the girl who died wandering that murderous curve wearing her prom dress.
Wow.
That's sad. Poor girl.
The first song that came to mind was I'm Sitting Here Crying in My Prom Dress.
Oh, she probably is. That's sad.
Whoops. I don't even know what that is. I just know it's on TikTok. Because it's like, I'm sitting here crying in my prom dress. And I'm pretty sure it's got like 2 claps to it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Do y'all know what she's talking about? Because I don't. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't. I would send it to you, but I'm banned from sending messages.
She got banned on TikTok from sending messages for a month because some person decided to hack Will's TikTok account. And this bitch, she straight up, as she should, called them a hoe.
I said,
and
run my man his TikTok back, hoe.
And she spams him with the winding up fists of, what was it, a frog?
Yeah, it was a little frog.
Like, he's gonna beat him up. And then she sent it again in the group chat. I missed all of this. I don't check my TikTok.
She doesn't
messages. I get on TikTok all the time, but I don't check the messages. And apparently she said it again in the group message. And the person had the audacity to report her.
Even though
for calling them a hoe.
His account.
Even though they're the one, who hacked his account.
Yeah, I got banned from sending messages for a month for sexual exploitation and gender-based violence. # free Denisha.
When is your release date?
April 20th. Go figure. 420. Fucking 420.
Damn.
It sucks. I need out of TikTok jail.
Yeah, so we've just been getting tagged in
or I'll copy the
videos
link sometimes and send it.
Yeah, or she'll send
but
it
that's
to
more
text
work
messages.
for me to do, and I'm not about that life.
Otherwise, we'd be having, oh my gosh, many TikToks.
So what's really funny too is you can't send me anything. So if you've been sending me anything,
I don't think I have.
it's gonna, because Chris has been doing this. It's gonna be in the DMs, and it's gonna give you a red line saying due to like.
Wait, will it pop up once it's?
I don't
unbanned?
know. I don't know, but he's been going through and showing me everything he's been sending
If
me.
that's the case, like I should just be sending your ass so many different TikToks every single day, so
it
that
would be
way
payback. It would be
curating
payback.
your own For You page.
Exactly. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Same.
So my next one is going to be, I'm sorry, I blanked out. Was yours just about New Jersey. New Jersey. Right? New Jersey?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was about to be like, mine's about Pennsylvania too. Mine is the legend of Suskin Screamer.
That sounds right. That's
The Suskin Screamer. It dates back more than a century in the Pittston Township of the Suskin area in Pennsylvania. I hate their names. What? Pinskin Township? Why
It's northern, that's
fine.
why.
It's still ridiculous. Legend says that the spirit of a screaming woman or an unidentified beast haunts the area of the now torn down one-lane Susquehanna Railroad Bridge. If you want to try to say that word, feel free.
Y'all need to come up with some easier words to say.
Susquehanna?
Yeah, no.
Susquehanna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking it is too.
Okay.
I have no fucking clue.
Also known as the Black Bridge. So why can you come up with the Black Bridge, but you still want to name it Susquehanna?
There's probably history behind it.
I'm sure there is.
Have you seen the longest name ever for a lake?
Yeah,
Uncle Jerry can actually say it.
you said it before.
Yeah. My brain can't
No.
comprehend it. I got a picture in front of it.
We'll
But it's a Native American name, though. But we'll put it up. Those of you who are northern will know what it is. I'm not even going to attempt to ever pronounce that because nope.
Maybe he can teach us next time we go to Maine.
Maybe. Give us a song, like a catchy little tune, and maybe we'll be able to remember
like
it.
doing the bone dance from Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
The bridge used to carry trains along the Susquehanna Railroad, passing over Suskin Road in Pittston and causing the road to narrow to one lane. Legend says that if you stop your car under the bridge at night, you would see the image of a young girl appear in your rearview mirror.
I don't do that anyway. I hate stopping on bridges and under bridges. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
She would give out a shriek and then disappear. There are, of course, many different versions of this poor girl's story. Some say that she was a jilted bride who committed suicide from the bridge. Others say that she was an escaped asylum patient who did the same.
Oh,
Yet
that's a big
Yeah.
range.
Yeah. Yet more recent tales said that she was just a girl who was killed by the bridge on a prom night. Or a mother and her child who were in a crash on their way to the hospital.
I need y'all to figure out what it is.
I think that's the interesting thing about like supposedly haunted locations though, because I am all for like haunted and paranormal. But when you start to research locations, a lot of them have such wide, broad, like possibilities.
I wonder if that's because they say sometimes like the paranormal can kind of present themselves in a way that you're going to comprehend.
Yeah.
It. So, interesting.
Each legend has one thing in common. They all die screaming. This apparition of a woman in white has also been spotted floating through the woods along the road, and her scream has been heard by many a passerby. Many said that her spirit began to appear in the 1930s, but others say the 1970s.
That's also a very broad range. I wonder if it could be two different people?
It could be multiple different entities. All of those things could be true in that one specific spot. If the latter were to be true, then there is some
Validated?
validity.
Oh, validity?
Validity. I was getting there.
I'm sorry.
There was some.
I try to help.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
Thank you. There was some validity to the legend. On September 30th, 1969, a 15-year-old Patricia M. Law hitchhiked a ride along Suskin Road from a 26-year-old David Ash. The circumstances of the murder is unclear, but Ash slashed M. Law's neck several times with his knife and dumped her body by the Black Bridge on Suskin Road.
Ash slinging slasher.
Hash slinging slash?
But his name's Ash.
Yeah, the Ash
Ash
slinging slash.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Also 1969, which was the same year that you were talking about in your previous. What's up with 1969, y'all? What's going on?
She was found 4 days later by mushroom pickers, and Ash was found and confessed to the murder. He was charged with first degree and sentenced to life in prison, where he later died. It was around the time of her murder that reports of the spectral woman began to appear. Still, there are some who claim the Suskin Screamer was hanging out under that bridge much before poor Miss Emlaw got a ride home from the wrong guy. Many date back to the 1930s, and some even before. But these reports perhaps unique because they do not mention the spirit of a girl. It seems M. Law or whoever is not the only paranormal creature causing terror along Suskin Road. Suskin Road, especially the former site of the Black Bridge, has had multiple and somewhat frequent reports of cryptid sightings, dating back to at least the late 1800s.
Keep going.
The first comes from the last years of the 19th century when a watchman from a fire tower spotted a fire in the Suskin area. The firemen were dispatched, but as they were battling the flames, they heard a frightening scream. Later, the watchman heard the scream coming from the charred area of land. He spotted a large creature with a pig-like snout walking toward him, sometimes on 2 legs and sometimes on 4.
I don't like that.
As it came closer, it kept screaming louder, and he hid until it went away.
Oh, it's a pig. It's a pig screaming?
We don't know. It has a pig-like snout, though.
I can just imagine it sounding like a pig screaming, like the squeals coming from a pig.
I'll
Sorry.
I'll touch base. No, you're fine. You're fine. That's not the only account of the creature to come out of Suskin Road. In the 1970s, a hunter reported that he saw a terrifying creature while out in the woods. He gave a similar description of a pig-like snout, said the creature had webbed feet and long claws. It was about 6 foot long and gray in color. It walked on both 2 and 4 legs. In May of 1976, a family spotted 4 large Bigfoot-like creatures by the lake near Suskin. Oh. Similar reports came out of Harveyville in 1984. Multiple sightings of both the Bigfoot and the screaming creature have become a thing out of Luzerne County, but most are concentrated towards the Suskin area, especially along Suskin Road. In 1999, a large webbed-foot lizard creature was spotted in the woods along Suskin Road.
Dang, they got all of the things there.
Whatever is out there. Families along the road still report hearing screams come from the dead of night, and some have even called the police. Oh, now, the thing that separates these screams from other things, and the thing that makes me think it's not necessarily a pig, is that they're all describing them as female screams. And it made me think of what we heard at Woolly Hollow.
Yeah, that's true.
A few other paranormal experiences have come from Suskin Road. There are apparently 18 street lamps along the road, but 11 are always out. It's different every 11th night.
They just like rotate.
Yeah. There's also an eerie radio silence that takes over the area of the former Black Bridge. So if you're having trouble finding it, it says to turn off your music and wait for it to stop. Apparently glowing orbs and the sound of a phantom train also have been reported going down the torn down bridge.
Interesting. So as you were reading, I was looking it up. Susquehanna County is in the area of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh.
So if I could get an actual photo to pop up, because I was very curious.
That makes a lot of sense as to why they see a variety as well.
Okay, so you kind of see where it's going through Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So, give me. Susquehanna
Goes right along that line.
is in the area of Pennsylvania where the Appalachian Trail is going to go through. So that would make sense as to why they're seeing all those cryptids.
Yeah.
Because as you're reading, I was like, I'm pretty sure the Appalachian Trail, or Pennsylvania,
I knew
has
it was
the Appalachian
in
Trail.
Pennsylvania. I just wasn't sure where along in that area, like especially in relation
Appalachian.
to.
Sorry, saying that wrong.
I think that's so, because there was Bigfoot, pig-like creature,
Yeah.
and then lizard-like
Lizard.
creature.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Interesting.
Oh, and then I did find a Reddit entry about that. Yeah, I said I didn't find any Reddit stories. I did lie, apparently. I forgot about that one. Somebody had posted, my buddy and I heard of phantom headlights in cars that would suddenly appear but not be there the moment you look again. We were driving on the straight part of the road, level ground, and about to come up on one of the first main hills, past the telephone poles and the lights. It was pitch black when we saw something start to glow on the horizon. It was raining, so if the car had high beams on, it would have definitely illuminated the sky, but as we drove up the first hill, we noticed that it was only one singular light. It was so bright, it literally could have been sunset if it wasn't 12 a.m. Anyways, it was midnight, raining, and on a random road in the middle of Susquehanna, so the idea that it might just be a motorcycle was out of the question, because who would drive a motorcycle that late randomly in the rain?
Yeah.
Then we noticed how bright it actually was and how there was something else odd about it. It wasn't moving. It didn't get closer to us, and it almost appeared to be in the middle of the road. So within the full maybe 30-45 seconds of seeing this thing, it didn't move, get brighter, get bigger, or even though we were flooring it down the road to get a glimpse of it. Then while we were still on the hill climbing up towards it, poof, the light just turns off, but it wasn't instant. It was like the turning of a fluorescent light bulb or the dimming of a lamp. It made the hair on the back of our neck stand up because, as we knew, we just experienced one of these phantom headlights that there are stories of. But get this, as we drove for another 30 seconds after the light went out, we got to where the light was shining from, and a very shitty sedan drove past us with headlights that in no way could have been what we saw. Ooh. I'm mentioning the car so that I don't rule out the idea that maybe it was the car to keep my own sanity, but I don't know. From how it acted to the timing and our speed and location, I don't think the car made that light.
Yeah, trust your gut, bud. Because you should be able to tell, like, if it was that specific car that made that light.
Well, I feel like if it was a shitty sedan, like, it's not going to be a very bright headlight, and it was only one singular light.
Yeah, that's not going to come from two. Interesting. This one's kind of longer, so just because it has a segment from the Arkansas Gazette. So this is the Highway 365 in Arkansas, the vanishing hitchhiker. Apparently there's really common things with the ghosty hitchhikers.
I'm actually really excited for this because I did not know this was a thing.
Yeah. Okay. It says, don't pick up a young girl hitchhiking on Highway 365, especially avoid her if she's wearing a white dress. Actually, beware if you pick up a young girl wearing any kind of dress, because it appears that there's more than one vanishing hitchhiker on Highway 365.
Why is it always women in dresses?
I don't know. I really don't know. But if you just can't help your desire to assist the frightened young girl standing out in the rain, she doesn't look dangerous after all, and she's definitely not a ghost, right? Well, don't be surprised if she disappears when you try to drop her off at her home. If you've seen this article, you've been warned. This might just be the most haunted road in Arkansas, and here's why. In 1973, a man picked up a girl on a bridge near Wrightsville, Arkansas. She was covered in bruises and cuts. She told the man that she had been in a car accident. When they arrived to the house she claimed was hers, she disappeared from his car. He went to the door anyway and found a father whose daughter had died on a bridge near Wrightsville the month before. There's a report of a man who picked up a young girl on a bridge and drove her to her house in Woodson. When he arrived, the girl asked him to knock on the door because the house was dark. He did so, and a woman answered. The do-gooder announced that he had brought the woman's daughter home. The woman replied that her daughter had died a year before, on that same night. Another man picked up a girl near Woodson and drove her to her home in Redfield. When the man got out of the car to open the door for the girl, she had disappeared. The man went to the door anyway, and a grieving father told him his daughter had someone drive her home every year on the anniversary of her death.
So
that makes me really sad.
I'm pretty sure
I could cry on that.
I'm pretty sure Chris's sister lives near Redfield, so I can see if I can't find out more information on that one.
Yeah, this one seems to always happen around the anniversary. The creepiest story has a man picking up a girl near the bridge in the rain. Because the girl was soaked through, he put his coat around her shoulders. When they arrived at the house where the girl said she belonged, she disappeared, taking his coat with her. After his conversation with the dead girl's father, the man visited the girl's grave, where he found his coat draped across her headstone.
Oh.
That makes me teary-eyed. I don't know why that's so sad. Oh, that's so sad. All they're wanting to do is get home.
Oh, you are. No.
I didn't read these.
Oh, no.
I didn't read them all the way through. Anyway, okay, I'm good. I'm great. Okay, so this next little segment of it it's a story from the Arkansas Gazette. It's Halloween, a day for spooks, goblins, candies, and ghost stories. Locally, one of the most famous ghost stories takes place along a stretch of highway, or Arkansas 365 Excuse me?
Light bulb?
What? Locally, one of the most famous ghost stories takes place along a stretch of Arkansas 365 between Pulaski County and Pine Bluff.
Yeah, Redfield.
What?
Yeah.
Which is said to be haunted by a young woman who's hitchhiking her way home. Though the accounts differ somewhat from person to person, general consensus is that the woman died in a car accident many years ago and her spirit remains along the roadside. Blogger Lori Marshall shared the following account about the 365 hitchhiker only in Arkansas. The wet pavement was black as ink on Arkansas 365 when Josh caught sight of a figure standing on the side of the road ahead. The young woman was soaked to the skin and shyly grateful for the ride. She gave him an address in Redfield, and Josh made small talk about the recent high school football game as they drove, but his passenger remained quiet. When they arrived at the address, she seemed to be asleep and there was no lights on in the house, so he decided to knock on the door first to make sure it was the right place. A woman came to the door and turned on the porch light as he smiled and spoke up. "Good evening, ma'am. I believe I have your daughter. I picked her up a few miles down the highway and she seems a little out of sorts. I wonder if you wouldn't mind helping me get her into the house." The woman stepped back from the doorway with a fearful look, and Josh felt a sudden sense of dread. "That is not my daughter," she told him. "My daughter died in an accident 4 years ago tonight." I just got chills. Josh ran back to his car through the muddy yard and yanked open his passenger door, and rain pitter-pattered on the empty seat. There are several versions of the story of a lone woman on the side of the Arkansas 365 near Woodson. Each one involves picking up a hitchhiker who then disappears when the driver delivers her to the address she offers, always on the anniversary of her death. Some stories say the person at the house is a man, others say a woman. In some retellings, the young woman asks the driver to go to the door. Others say she disappears before they arrive. Even more elaborate is a story of a driver tracking down the girl's grave and finding the coat she was wearing when he picked her up, hanging on her headstone. It's a lovely tale of a residual haunting, a haunting that continues to occur over and over without any change in the story, as if it's looped on a recording. I want to do an episode on residual hauntings because I just find that so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's almost as though the grief and sadness of the woman's loss is so strong that it burned itself into the ribbon of time itself. On the commercial's Facebook page, several people responded with their own accounts of the phantom hitchhiker. Frankie Brooks wrote, "I've been researching this for years. Apparently there was an accident in Woodson in the 40s involving a young man and woman. In 1948, two Department of Correction workers making a delivery spotted the couple in a car between the bridge and the railroad tracks of 365. The couple and car disappeared due to multiple reports of seeing the girl walking on 365 between the bridge and the town of Redfield. ASP investigated the incidents in 1980. Trooper Robert Rutan, This investigation made the paper. The story is retold in a movie called Encounter with the Unknown. Never heard of it.
Neither.
From 1973, allegedly the vanishing hitchhiker occurs only on stormy nights in the spring. Is this true? Who knows? Christy Walker wrote, my dad has told me the story for years, said he has seen her and one of his friends picked her up, and when he got close to where she lived, she was gone and his seat was wet. Rachel Ricky wrote, my grandpa used to tell me this story all the time. He has since passed away, but I remember the story quite well. Lisa Wills says of the hitchhiker, it's real, I've seen her, and she chilled my bones.
I'm going to have to ask Cassie. By the way, just so you're aware, Woodson to Redfield is about a 10-minute stretch.
How many miles is that? Does it say? Or
6 miles, 6.5 miles.
Oh.
Now, for us...
That's so sad. If she really died 6 miles away from her house. They always say that accidents happen close to home.
Less than an hour.
Oh, we might have to go and just drive through that area. What would we do if we saw her? I would want to try to talk to her. I wonder, it says it's always usually around the anniversary of her passing. I don't know if it's...
Spring and rainy night, too, though. We're coming up in spring. We're in spring.
Yeah, that's also very true. I just want to chat with her. I feel so bad. I feel like she's so sad. Poor girl. Anyway, that's the Arkansas hitchhiker.
That one was not what I thought it was going to be. It was a lot more, and I became emotionally invested.
Me too. I just felt so bad. I was like, I just want to go find her and hold her and be like, it's okay.
I don't think my last one is going to live up to that.
It's totally fine. We need a...
So this one's really short. This one's actually, it takes place in the United Kingdom.
Heck yeah.
So this is the A75 Kinmount Strait.
Okay.
This route was dubbed as the Ghost Road and further holds the title as the most haunted road in the world because of endless ghostly sightings that have occurred over recent years. This meandering journey, which is about 95 miles long, is full of urban legends. The Ferguson brothers, Derek and Norman, reported an unusual sighting while traveling around midnight. They reported seeing an enormous hen flying towards their window, followed by an elderly woman waving her arms.
Like a chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unbelievably.
Just imagine that scene in my head.
Oh, just wait. Unbelievably, she was followed by a long-haired, screaming man along with animals and other odd creatures, all of whom vanished in an instant.
Why is it giving me the couple from Courage the Cowardly
Oh
Dog?
my goodness. They added that they felt a sudden temperature drop following this incident.
I could honestly poop my pants if I'm driving and all of a sudden see a big ass hen heading towards
a woman
my car.
raising her arms and then a man with long hair just screaming.
And then animals following behind. They all just disappear.
On another occasion, a couple thought that they had run into a man who was standing by the road with a sack. As they approached to see if he was all right, they saw nothing in the exact same spot. 2 truck drivers have also claimed, I'm just going to say, if it's like truck drivers, they're lorries. They call them lorries.
Lorries?
Yep.
Interesting.
Claimed seeing a van speeding towards them as if it was going to crash, but then they searched for it and they found no signs of a vehicle. Other events include a group of individuals hauling carts and carrying bundles, apparitions stepping in front of their vehicles and disappearing, shadowy figures walking in the dead of night, and more ghoulish ghosts patrolling A75 Kinmount Road. I didn't get very much on that one.
Oh.
But I did, when I looked it up earlier.
The chicken was enough.
Yeah, the chicken is definitely a lot. But I think it starts in Scotland.
Oh yeah, because it's 95 freaking miles long.
Yeah, so it probably...
So all of this just happens all throughout it?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because I think Kinmount Strait is actually like the whole of the United Kingdom. So this whole thing is the Kinmount 75.
I just cannot get over the hen.
Yeah, the giant ass hen. Okay, so it does not go through the whole of the United Kingdom, but it does go down at least to Scotland, to the end of
Dang, we need to go drive that.
Listen, I will go visit. I will let one of my family members drive.
Oh, it's on the other side of the road.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm driving.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that.
But definitely
the other side's
definitely would be down to go visit.
Heck yeah.
We're still filming. You can come in. Oh, hey.
Let me see that.
We had the same idea.
You know who you are.
Big
you
Mac,
know
Big
who you
Life
are.
for life. We got our first hate comment, and they said to lay off the McDonald's. Never.
He said fat women. Da, 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 da. Did you know about this?
I'm not mad about it.
I'm not either.
I'm going to eat my fries in happiness.
You know who you are, because I know you're going to lurk. What you got to say? Anyway, so my last one is the Renville House Road in Ireland. So it's said to be one of the most haunted roadways in Ireland is the Nunnery Road R541.
Do they have nuns?
It's a good question. I have no idea. In County Kerry, particularly near the town of Killarney? Yeah.
You're going to kill her knee.
Get out of here. This eerie stretch of road has a chilling reputation due to the legend of the Lady of Kenmare, ghostly nun, yep, who is said to appear to passing motorists. So the legend is the tale revolves around a nun from a nearby convent. How did you know?
I don't know. It's my spidey senses.
Who did you read Dad's post?
I did.
Okay,
that's
cool.
where I got spidey senses from.
Gotcha. I was like, who is believed to have met a tragic end.
I should have said no.
I would have been so confused. I'd have been like, what is up with spidey senses today? I read that this morning. You're saying it now. Okay, so the tale revolves around a nun from a nearby convent who is believed to have met a tragic end centuries ago. According to the local folklore, she either died violently or under mysterious circumstances. Her spirit is said to haunt the road, often appearing at night, especially to lone drivers. Many who have encountered her describe seeing a woman dressed in a dark habit, sometimes with sorrowful expression, standing on the side of the road or suddenly appearing in the backseat of cars before vanishing. Oh no. No, ghosties. No. If I am driving, do not appear in the backseat of my car or in the passenger side of my car. I would freak the hell out.
Anytime I think of, I envision a ghost popping into a backseat, I always think of the Haunting Connecticut film, where I think Jonah was his name, where the young boy pops into the pastor's car and kind of makes...
The boy with all the cuts all over him?
No, the boy that was burned.
Oh.
I think he makes him realize that he was trying to stop the evil spirits. And so it's like a really sad moment.
Yeah. So some paranormal activity is apparitions. Numerous motorists have reported seeing a figure in their rearview mirror or walking along the roadside. Sudden temperature drops. Drivers have mentioned experiencing an unexplained chill while passing through this stretch, even on warm nights. Electrical malfunctions. Some drivers have reported their headlights flickering or their radios cutting out unexpectedly. Some modern day encounters. Even in recent years, travelers and locals have shared stories of strange occurrences and sightings along this route, keeping the legend alive. And it says if you're into haunted locations and ghostly tales, Eerie Irish Roadway is definitely one to add to your paranormal bucket list. Eerie Irish Roadway.
The luck of the Irish.
Damn.
That was awful. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was.
All over me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
So I do have 2 Reddit stories if you want to hear them.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Do you want to hear the cult on Devil's Road or the Highway 95 Ghost Boy first?
The cult.
Okay. I hate this because it just looks like one whole run-on sentence. It drives me nuts. Anyway.
You are a run-on sentence.
I will pop the name of... Actually, I think this one was technically deleted, so I didn't have the user's name.
Oh, it said like R deleted or some shit.
Yeah. But the other one, I'll pop in the name so that way you guys know who it's from and what community it's from on Reddit. So, the cult on Devil's Road. What I'm about to tell you is 100% true. A little backstory before I begin my personal narrative. There's a back road in Pennsylvania nicknamed Devil's Road, but it's formerly known as Cosart Road. You can Google this road and read about this paranormal history. It says M. Night Shyamalan even filmed The Village here. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about that yesterday. To give you a brief summary, the DuPont family owned a mansion on Cosart Road years ago. It was nicknamed the Cult House because of strange activities that occurred on the property, including reported black magic and neighbors hearing unexplained demonic voices in the surrounding woods.
No.
Yep. Locals have even said that the DuPont family married their cousins to ensure that their wealth would stay in the family.
What in the Alabama?
Like any typical teen, I wanted to investigate the legends surrounding this creepy road. It was the Saturday before Halloween in 2011 that my friends and I decided to take a drive out to Cosart Road. It was about 10 p.m. when we arrived there, a completely dark and wooded area with no houses in sight. My two friends and I drove down the back road all alone, taking notice of the many trees that were sprayed with graffiti. About 5 minutes later, we arrived at the cult house. I told my friends to park the car on the side of the road so we could get better look of the mansion. We stepped out and noticed a large gate with a metal fence that surrounded the entire front property. There was a long driveway behind the gate that continued uphill towards the mansion. We could barely see the house because of the trees that lined the driveway, blocking our view. My friend then pointed to the right of the house and told us to look at the large bonfire by the woods. I peered over in the direction that he was pointing and noticed 8 to 10 people surrounding the fire. What became very peculiar to me was the fact that these people were all dressed in red hooded outfits. I then realized that this must have been some kind of cult gathering. Really? What gave it away? My friends and I were in complete shock at what we were witnessing. A few minutes later, we began hearing vehicles approaching us from the surrounding cornfields. My friends and I ran to the car and jumped inside. I turned around in the passenger seat and witnessed 2 black SUVs appear out of the cornfields and onto the road. I could see each driver wearing the same red hood, but was unable to make out any facial features. I told my buddy to start the car and go as fast as possible, as this was a threatening situation. We took off and approached 50 miles per hour on a windy back road, but could find no relief as the SUVs were right behind us. Their high beams blinded our sight as we made our way through the wooded back road. The one SUV went into the other lane and sped up to pass us. Now in front, the SUV put his brakes on to force us to stop. My friend panicked and decided to switch lanes and speed up to avoid the driver. Driving in the opposite lane, we were able to escape both drivers. I looked in the mirror to see that they were slowing down and becoming distant. The road was coming to an end, but we had no intent of slowing down. My buddy stopped at the last second and turned left onto a new back road. I turned around and can see that each SUV had stopped at the end of the road. They turned off their headlights and sat there, blocking us from entering Cosart. We just kept driving until we reached the main highway. That confrontation left us speechless as we couldn't find the words to describe the fear we were experiencing. To this day, I will not return to Devil's Road. That's scary. That's not even paranormal. That's just scary. No,
that's just scary. Oh my God.
And to think shit like that actually happens?
That's... Oof. No.
Okay. So... the last one I have is Highway 95 Ghost Boy. So it says, I've never visited this subreddit, but I thought it would be a good place to share my true story of what we thought might have been a ghost. This happened almost a decade ago. My family was moving from Reno, Nevada to Las Vegas, Nevada. We were separated into 2 cars, the moving truck and the family car. I rode with my mother in the family car and my younger brother was in the truck with my dad. Somewhere along the long, boring drive through the Nevada desert, I had fallen asleep midday. I awoke from my nap and groggily looked around. After a few minutes, I thought I saw, but can't really say I saw, rather sensed with a different sense, a child on the right side of the road. I thought it was weird that a kid would be on the side of the highway all alone in the middle of the desert during the day. But as I looked in the side mirror to see if the kid was still there, we were apparently turning a corner and the kid would have been out of view. I asked my mom, did you see that kid on the side of the road? And she said, no, there is no kid. I've been watching the road this whole time. Go back to sleep. So I shrugged off the idea and thought nothing more of it. Fast forward to lunchtime, maybe an hour or so later, we decided to meet with my dad and brother at McDonald's somewhere along the way. When my dad and brother entered, my brother excitedly explains, did you see the ghost? Shocked all of us, but my dad asked him what he meant. My dad explained that before Hawthorne, my brother said he saw a ghost boy on the side of the road with his mouth open, wearing tattered clothes. My brother said he was all green and blue. Oh. It honestly hadn't even occurred to me at this point that the kid I faintly saw for a split second was the same as my brother's ghost boy, until my mother said, wait, Annan, me, said he saw a kid on the side of the road too. Where did you say he saw the ghost boy? My dad said that he saw him just north of Hawthorne. My mother, interested at this point, recalled that it was north of Hawthorne that I had asked about the kid on the side of the road. We talked for hours about the possibility of a ghost boy on the side of the road. I can't for sure say what I saw was a ghost, and it almost felt like a dream when I saw it. But my brother's vivid imagery of what he saw lends credence to the fact that it was indeed a ghost boy, especially since the drivers watching the road did not see him when he was in plain sight on the other side of the road.
I will say I really appreciate how the parents didn't just like automatically shut them down on that. Mm-hmm. And like we're kind of like, oh wait, that's where so-and-so saw the kid as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know how I would react if I saw a ghost on the side of the road.
No, me either.
But, yeah. So, those are some creepy haunted roadways. And if you guys have any experiences or any stories of any haunted roadways, we would love to hear them. You can either comment them down below, send us an email at theafterlifehotline@gmail.com. We would love to hear them and feature them in future videos.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Do all the things. Yes, please do all the things. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Other than that, I think that wraps it up. We're gonna.
This was episode 11.
11.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We are officially in double digits. You know, we can celebrate that with our McDonald's.
Hell yeah. Gonna enjoy that McDonald's too.
Absolutely. But I guess until next time, stay tuned and
we'll see you then. Bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you for calling the Afterlife Hotline, where the ghosts are chatty and the hosts are, well, questionable at best.
Press 1 to replay this episode and question your life choices.
Press 2 to summon us back next week. No Ouija board required.
Press 3 to hang up. But let's be real, something's probably still listening.
That's it for this call, but don't worry.
We're like ghosts, we always come back.
Until next time.
Stay spooky, stay weird, and maybe don't answer that strange knock at your door. Goodbye!